Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Now, welcome to the first show of 2022. Hope you made it through. I got drunk at the New Year's, so I didn't make a show yesterday. I was nursing a hangover instead because I don't normally drink, so it gave me a right hangover yesterday. Anyway, we had a great year on the channel last year. I did a bunch of roundup shows. Hopefully you watched a couple of those. Just highlighting some of the great bands that had come through last year, although barely scratched the surface. Run out of time to kind of recap the bands. And I'm sure that this year as well, we're going to have a ton of great bands to check out as well. Now, I don't know about you guys, but just personally, last year, I must have found out about 20 or 30 bands that I really liked, that I went off and checked out more after seeing them on the show, did them in the recaps and stuff as well, because it was just amazing bands coming through on the channel. So I'm really hoping people out there as well who are watching the channel are finding bands that they're into and enjoying. I'm sure it's happening because the channel keeps on growing. We're going from strength to strength. We've just gone over 6,000 followers on Facebook, which is pretty nice. I'm hoping to reach 10,000 this year. That would be very cool because when you follow someone and you've got 10,000 followers on Facebook, it lets them know, hey, this person's got 10,000 followers. So it must be a big deal. So we'll aim for that. Let your friends know and all the rest of it if you think they might enjoy the show. So we'll try and get as many people on board as we can this year. And I'm finding, as time goes on, it does gradually start to snowball and people's mates of mates find out about the show from Facebook and all the rest of it. And yeah, it's growing nicely. So I'm happy with that. It spurs me on that people are getting someone out the show, and there's people out there who want to check out this kind of content, not just me. Very, very cool. Now, what else? I've got a couple of things I wanted to talk about today. Now, for 2022, I'm the kind of person that when the new year comes round, I do kind of feel like it's a new page in a book, a new chapter, and a chance to kind of, start afresh and have new goals for the rest of the year, have a resolution or whatever you want to call it. And for this year, I do want to concentrate still more on the channel, I think it's looking pretty good. I'm happy with the look of it for now, but we've had that look for most of last year, so I will try and look for some artists. If you're an artist and you think, hey, it'd be cool to work with this guy, or you've got some ideas for what I could do, I am going to be looking for new overlays, maybe a new intro as well, maybe even the Unsigned showcase logo up there, because that's just a free font off the internet. If someone wanted to do a cool one of those, I'd be interested in that, and just generally change the look of the show, so it's a bit fresh and a bit different and all of that. I'll be doing that at some point. And what I'm thinking as well, because I saw some comments on the internet that people don't just like the reviews and the showcase of the bands, but they like me talking about the mixing process and giving kind of tips and tricks with that stuff to the more home bands and one-man bands who can get something out of those tips and tricks. So what I will start doing a bit more so, I think, as well, is every now and again, if I come up with a good idea, is maybe just do a how-to video of, this is how you EQ drums, this is a cool VST or something to use for on your bass or on your guitar tones or something like that. Just some ideas that might just help some people out as well, bring in a bit more variation than just every day's the same, checking out bands. So I've got some ideas for moving forward. If you've got any ideas yourself and you think, man, I'd always wish this guy would do this in the show or add this or that, let me know, because I'm open to suggestions. I don't think I know it all, so I'm happy to get suggestions. And if you're an artist as well out there and you think, yeah, I've got a cool idea to how we could do an overlay or an intro or something like that, I'd definitely be interested, and I've put some money aside from the priority submissions to use on that very stuff. So I'm not just going to be blagging it for free. Now, the band that I'm going to talk about today is my own band. And I'm not really going to talk about how great they are or anything like that, because that would be a bit of a clash of conflict of interest is what they call it. But what I do want to talk about today is how this album came about, because there's a bit of a story behind it. It totally caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting what's happened with this album, or an EP I should say, to happen, and it has happened, and I'm really, really pleased about it. And it's a great way for me to kick off the year, releasing an album on the 1st of January, and hopefully I'll try and get some more out this year, and that will spur me on to do some more music as well. Now, what I did is in end of 2019 and the start of 2020, I tried to think of a new way to write technical mathcore music, because I've always wanted to create that music. I love it, but I've never really known how to go about creating it from scratch. And it's still kind of something that eludes me in terms of how bands get to do that. But as a one-man band, I knew that I could put my own mind to each different aspect, and there would be some cohesiveness there. So what I tried to do is think of a new way to get down ideas of mathy stuff that you couldn't initially just rip out on the guitar, because it might be a bit too technical to just improvise. So what I did is I actually hummed into a mic and did some beatboxing into a mic of drum beats and weird guitar patterns and stuff that I thought up in my mind, and then I used those recordings of the audio to figure out a drum beat. And then once I'd had the drum beat down, I then went and tried to learn the guitar riffs and put a guitar riff to the drum beat. And from there, I built some more samples and effects on it. I started to create interludes to go between the tracks, because I didn't want gaps and a pause between each track. I just wanted each track to blend into the next, so it just sounded like one thing. The whole EP is only 6.5 minutes long, but there is actually 5 tracks in there. They're all about a minute long with an interlude in between, and that's what I wanted to do with it. And I had that sitting on my computer for about a year, and I wanted to do something with it, but I couldn't. The vocal style that I wanted over there, which was an aggressive, hardcore-y shouting vocal, wasn't something that I could do myself. And I asked a couple of guys, hey, did you want to get in, do something for this album? They're like, yeah, I'll be interested. And then it just never really happened. But I posted it on the Heaviest page and said, look, is there anyone out there that would be interested in doing vocals on this stuff? And the one person I absolutely wasn't expecting to say, yeah, I'll be interested in doing it, was Ellie from Fawn Limbs, who is one of my favourite bands, who's one of the bands I found out by doing the show as well. And they're just a super heavy, dark, grindy, aggressive band. And he said, yeah, I'll be interested in doing the vocals on this. I was like, sick. That's dope. So I sent him over the files and everything else, and he got it done in his own time, and it was super dope, and I loved it. And I was like, dude, this is better than I even thought it was going to turn out already. And then he said, well, I've got some connections within the music world, and I can probably get this released. I'll have a word with some people and then get back to you. So a bit of time passed, and he got back to me and he said, yeah, there's people that want to get on board with this, and they're going to do a vinyl release and a tape release as well. And I was like, Jesus, that's dope. He said, so what you need to do is remix it, just because it's a different mix for tapes and vinyl. They can't be as loud as digital, apparently, which was new to me. So I had to figure that stuff out as well. Did some lower volume mixes that weren't so loud, that will hopefully work on the vinyl a bit better. And then he said, yeah, they're going to get on board with all that. The situation that they wanted to work with, which was new to me, but I'm actually quite happy with it. And this might be something that if you're a one-man band and reaching out, or someone reaches out from a physical, people who make tapes and vinyls reach out to you, which has happened to me actually in the past, but I've turned it down. They say, look, we want to put this out on record for you. Do you mind? What these guys have done is they've paid for all the tapes. I'll just get it up on the screen so that you can see it here. We've got all the tapes and the vinyl, and they've all got cool designs and stuff with it to go with it. They've done some burning of some of the artwork to make it look cool as well, which is dope. Now, they've put all the investment and the money into that, and they're going to send them all out and fulfill the orders and all the rest of it. And because of that, me and Ellie aren't going to get any money from the actual sales of that. Now, that was something I had to think about initially, because I hadn't really, gone ahead with that before. But I actually thought, these guys have put all the effort in and the money and the production to get the tapes and the vinyls made, which is something I definitely couldn't do myself, and I would have to pay someone to do anyway. And they've got the distribution to get this stuff delivered and sent out and deal with all that side of stuff as well. And it's going to promote the album and the EP and stuff for us as well. I thought, that's a fair deal. I'm not expecting it to say, if it sells 10 million copies somehow, I'll maybe get in touch with them and say, hey, can I get a cut of that? Because the CDs and the tapes and the vinyls didn't cost $10 million to make. But if they sell 100 or 200 or God knows how many they sell, and recoup the money that they put into to all the tapes and the vinyls and artwork and everything else, dope. And if they make a bit of money on top of that as well, even doper. And the fact that me and Ellie haven't made any money out of it in that way, I'm really not that bothered about with this one. Maybe if we, if this stuff takes off and we do some more stuff in the future, we'll maybe set up a different deal then. But, when you're coming out the gates with some fresh stuff and other people are putting investment into it with their money, I haven't put a penny into this myself, to get it done and get it made. I think, that's a fair deal, even if we're not actually making money from those sales. Now, we can still sell it on Bandcamp and, whatever if we wanted to as well, although I wouldn't do that anyway because I give all my music away free. All my music on Bandcamp is free. So it would just be either given away free anyway, so we wouldn't be making any money of it. So I thought, what a super dope deal. And they're going to send me all these tapes and vinyls as well, so I get my copy of it for myself, which is great, and I'll keep that forever. So there you go. It just shows you there's different ways of getting your music out there and working with different people and different kind of deals that you can strike that don't necessarily going to bring you in a bunch of money, but you weren't necessarily going to make a bunch of money off it anyway, so who cares? And this is actually going to get the album out there to a lot more people than it would have done had I just put it on my own Bandcamp for free and maybe got 100 listeners. So there you go. Very, very cool. The people who are doing it, I should just say as well, they were Tomb Tree tapes, but because this is the first release that they've done where they're doing vinyls as well, they've ditched the tapes and they're just called Tomb Tree now. So look out for that. If you like what you hear now, I'm going to play it for you at the end of the show. You can head over to the Bandcamp link and just download it for free if you like it and just spin it. As I say, it's only 6.5 minutes long. The longest track is 2 minutes 15 and the shortest one is just 34 seconds. So what also happened with this is it got put on the Mathcore Index channel, which, if you watch this channel, you'll know is one of my favourite channels on the internet because every band they upload is dope. Mathcore, chaotic hardcore, badass stuff. And these are really the only Mathcore outlet on YouTube where you can check this kind of stuff out. Every Mathcore band knows about them and goes to them as well. And the fact that I've now got an EP on their channel and they've promoted it for me as well, it's a good feeling. Very, very cool. So we decided to call ourselves Ditch Organ, which I like as a name. Sometimes coming up with a name can take ages, but we actually settled on this name pretty quickly. We were like, what about this? Nah. What about this? Nah. What about Ditch Organ? Yeah, that sounds all right. So we went with it. The whole EP is called A Rapid Flickering of Light. It's 5 tracks. I'm not going to talk over the album or anything like that and kind of say, this bit's great or anything like that, because that'd be kind of too cheesy. I'll just play it for you and you can check it out for yourself. From tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the Monday grind. And from there, we'll be back into the grind, doing the show as normal. I've got 400 bands already in the queue waiting to go, so we're not short of bands to check out already, but I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of killer releases this year as well, like we did last year, and a whole bunch of new bands to check out where there's too many good bands out there, if I'm honest with you. So here's A Rapid Flickering Light with me and Ellie from Fawn Limbs. He's on the vocals. I did all of the music, apart from the first guitar riffs. That was done by someone else. I did all the mixing and everything else myself, made the video. So there you go. Hope you're going to enjoy it, guys. I'll just leave you to watch this at the end of the show now, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Monday grind. Cheers.
Over Cutting in and out there, Nigel.